Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it.
Oh my goodness.
How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. That is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to the Smash Factor, week 27 on the 2022-2023 PGA Tour, the Wells Fargo Championship, another elevated event, stacked field, although a few people missing from it, Scheffler, Rahm amongst those. It is a early Tuesday morning. I'll put this out around lunch. This is the, I mentioned it last week, but I know a lot of people still didn't play a ton last week or kind of just put in a bullet and waiting for these good tournaments to get back. But day 5, morning 5 of Mama Gut being gone on her annual work conference award ceremony trip. She should be back tomorrow morning, probably somewhere in that range. I'll find that out, and that will we'll see how that goes with E9 with Kenny, see if I can work out a good time with him. With her coming back after beyond 6 days. But a little bit of the content was delayed. Should have everything caught back up early evening, I would say. I'm going to record this now. At lunch, I'll get it posted. I'll be gone and day job type stuff rest of the afternoon, get the kids home from school, and then I'll get everything else caught up. We'll be back where we normally are. Last week was okay for me, a little under break even, and I'm fine with that because I didn't have any Rahm or Finau. Only went 3 max, did not do any MME last week. Did some showdown stuff, nothing crazy. Had one good day, and the other days were just kind of like break even, one losing day. So kind of like the whole tournament in general. When I decided not to do Rahm, Finau, and they finished 1-2, and I still, just lost a little bit below break even. I'll take that. On those kind of weeks, had a lot right. A lot of people up there, obviously, to still make some money not having a Rahm Finau. Betting wise, the Toasty guy that I talked about on the pod last week did not envision him getting steamed up like he did. 13% in some contest. We did hit him on the top 20 plus 450. I thought Brandon Wu was going to give us a little excitement there, until you hit the double on 10, I believe. The front 9, he tied Finau at one point, but was right there. Rahm was, kind of off to a slow start. You kind of felt, a lot of people, there's 4, 5, 6 guys that I still thought could have been there, but Finau just kept it on and never really looked back. So no outright that week, but top 20 gets a little bit of money back. I need to grade the matchups as well to see where we were on the week in total. Several guys had good weeks in Slack. Bill CTR had a nice won the 1K pitch and putt round 4 Sunday. So round 4, good hit there. In Smith, $180 from $26 in on the week. Tyler John, $45 into $370. I know he had some sweat there late, dropped a little bit, but was contending there for a while. Doc, second in the 1K chip shot for the week. Good profit there for him as well. If you'd like to join now. Link is in the description, or just go gupscorner.com/memberships. We'll be rolling out some more updates this week, especially the live PGA Sweats that we've had on the old version. I think we're ready to roll that out, and as well as some more stuff this week and next week before we get to the PGA Championship with probably get everything that we kind of want done for sure by the U.S. Open, but several new things will be coming again to the new golf dashboard set over the next 2 weeks before we hit the PGA Championship. Rate and review us on iTunes. Certainly appreciate that anytime you can do it. Listener League winner this week was TRT 242424. He actually had first, second, and third because he put the same lineup in all 3. A good lineup. He went Rahm Finau up top. Then Carson Young, Toasty, Dylan Wu, and Goya. Goya was Doc of the Week, had a good decent Thursday, Friday, and then struggled on the weekend, but he did make the cut to come through. I think he was 6,500 or something like that. Cheap and low owned, but good win for him. You got first, second, and third there. Link is in the description for this week. Let's fill it up so we can have a good PGA Championship. Course preview. So we're at Quail Hollow, 2017. It was, so if you're looking at whether you look at sites, however you pull your information, 2017 was played at Eagle Point because the PGA Championship was here. That's the year JT won the PGA Championship, if you want to look at that leaderboard. 2020 last year was played at TPC Potomac. So remember that if you're looking at 2020 stuff, because the President's Cup was played at Quail Hollow. So that's why they didn't have it here. And really, with the big renovations, I really am only looking at, 2017 and on. I look at the PGA Championship year, or, how they did well there. And then 2018, 19, there was no event in 2020, then 2021, and then obviously not 2022 as that was at TPC Potomac. So keep that in mind if you're kind of looking. I know some people don't even look at course history, but if you are looking at all that, make sure you have that dialed in if you were pulling numbers and data so you don't pull it from the wrong course. Or look at guys that did really well here last year and think in your head that is this course. So par 71, 7,600 long. It's got the green mile, 16, 17, 18. You really want to be, I think -1 every day, -2 every day for sure is going to get you up there, sitting decent going into Sunday. If you shoot even, you're sitting in a good spot, make the cut, do what you do on the weekend. Very tough course, always ranks in the top 10 on toughness. Bermuda throughout, a big ballpark. You got to hit good drives here, long. Doesn't mean you have to be, super long, but because you also have to have good iron play and long iron play. Bogey avoidance will be key this week. Probably 10, 11 under. Really, I think we'll have to hear how the rough is. I think that's important, in my notes from prior years. And I think it's been somewhat wet down there. So, but maybe not as warm. I know we're not as warm, we're far away from North Carolina, but in general than what we normally are. So maybe the Bermuda hadn't grown through and made it thick yet. That's something to kind of be paying attention to on press conferences and stuff like that. The harder the rough, the higher the scoring will be, in my opinion, overall. Weather, like I said, it's a little cooler. May hit 70 each day, but some early morning in the low 50s, maybe high 40s. Small chance of rain Saturday, decent chance, but obviously that's post-cut. Won't worry about that. No really rain outside of that. So doesn't really have to worry about weather at all, which is nice for 2 weeks in a row. As far as pre-cut, looking at waves and all that kind of stuff, it looks nice. 70 is nice. It's not, cool, but it is cooler than what normally is here. Cut, I have about +1, +2. Winner, I'm going to go with -11, -12, somewhere in that range. Like I mentioned, JT won here, the PGA Championship in 2017. Day won, Homa's won, Rory's won, and done well here. Homa won this event last year, but it was at Potomac. Some runner-ups at Quail Hollow, Abraham Answer, Joel Dahman, Watney, Aaron Wise, since the redo, kind of the whole update to the course in general. Stats I'm looking at: good drives, ball striking, stroke gain irons, bogey avoidance, opportunities inside 18 feet, and par 4 DK scoring. 50 guys have not played this since 2017, so a lot. But what do we come up to? I think there's 156 guys. So 106 have, but there's a lot of guys here that have not played it ever. It's a pretty good historical course to look at, meaning course history matters a little bit more here than most others. So I bumped that just a hair, not a big factor like some of the other stuff, but I do bump it just from off the average weekly number. Salary ranges: 4 in the 10K, 7 in the 9K, 10 in the 8K, 43 in the 7K, and 92 in the 6K. So 138 guys, 7,900 or less, which seems to be some of the normal we're getting with these fields lately. Normal format for me: Sweet 16. I'll give you 3 I like and a bubble boy in each salary range. Fade of the week, sleeper of the week, gut feel plays, betting top 5, pop, and 2 long shots provided by Underdog and Prize Picks. Some one and done early thoughts, and then we'll get out of here on this Tuesday morning. 9K and above. I'm going to start with Cantley, 10-5. third at RBC, 14th at the Masters. I really think his game's just been solid all the way around. Loved him at the Masters. I think he should fit this course really, really well. Price as well, we'll get to Rory in a little bit, but, below Rory and Xander, so kind of fit there. And then Finau being 300 cheaper, and Finau probably gets a little bit of steam and love this week, deservedly so, because he's playing good coming into Mexico, then he wins it. And I kind of think it may be a little more people go, oh, and he went back-to-back last year. So I think that'll get a little bit of talk up. But I wonder how many people will just drop to the 9K range if they don't want to go, well, Finau can't win again, type of situation. I think Cantley, he always gets more ownership than I think in general, but I don't think anybody's gonna be super high owned up here. I think it'll be fairly balanced and spread out. But he's a guy that I like a lot this week. He's number 1 overall in the model. First in good drives, 5th in ball striking, 2nd in bogey avoidance, 2nd in par 4 DK scoring, 22nd in irons. Coming in really good form, playing really well, 21st in the putting model. So it's all the things I like. Maybe that gets him high up, in ownership, higher up than I think. But I don't think anybody up here is going to be super owned, maybe except Rory, just because of his stellar history here. I like Hovland. I'm back and forth on him at times. He's not as much of the DFS darling as what he once was, where, the ownership didn't match up to what I felt overall. But he's really playing well. 7th at the Masters, 59th at the RBC. Played this course in 2021, got a 3rd. That's the only time he's played it. 9,200 feels like a really good price, especially if you're looking at a balanced build or hybrid balance. He could be your first guy in, and I wouldn't hate that. So there's a lot of options there with him. Puts him in the pool for me this week. And then Fitzpatrick's another guy, 9,300. Not going to pop as much as some of these other guys because he was just playing so bad, coming out the new year. His recent stuff, like you look at my deep dive I do for the members out there, the last 24 is going to look a lot better than the last 72 for him. He won the RBC, 10th at the Masters, 2nd last year at Potomac. Again, not here, but, I think his game fits here well. And I think he may go a little bit, under-owned just with other people around him. Sung Jae, I just mentioned Hovland, Homa's, won last year at Potomac, also won here in 2019. Morikawa always gets a little bit of love. Spieth's coming in great form. So I could see Fitz kind of going under the radar a little bit. And I think his game's coming into form, as we hit, I like him, maybe to win either the PGA or US Open. But he's kind of a guy, especially when you look at the betting odds too, he's kind of a little higher than some of these other guys I just mentioned. So I like Fitz, like a Fitz Hovland start, probably puts you a lot different than people. And I don't hate that. My bubble boy is Xander. No real reason to be bubble boy, just had to have someone there. I like him a lot this week. 10th at the Masters, 4th at RBC, 14th here in 2021. He did make the cut in 2017 and 2018, but 24th in a 72nd. So one decent year, good year, one not so good, but still made the cut. And then 2021, 14th here. So I like all that about it. I like the form he's coming in with. I like Cantley, right? I think they're both coming in a great form and around the same price. So it'll be interesting to kind of see where the ownership falls, and if Rory's going to be super high owned, not maybe Rahm last week, but let's say over 25%. Where does everybody feel naturally going after that? And maybe we get a little bit of a leverage there on Xander. We'll see. Only reason why he's a bubble boy, he was just the lowest ranked of these, and plus the highest price. So nothing major. He's a guy I definitely will be looking at as a potential core play once we get to tomorrow night. 8K range, I like Hatton, 8,500. Played here in 2018. Made the cut, got a 42nd. Has not played since then. 37th last year, but again, different course. Coming in pretty decent form. Missed the cut at Valero, then 34th at the Masters, 19th at RBC. He rates out really well for me. 5th in good drives, 7th in ball striking, 9th in par 4 DK scoring, 17th in bogey avoidance, 14th in irons inside 18 feet. And I like the price, 8,500. He can go, if you want to go up top with a Xander or Rory or something like that, or even Cantley. If you're trying to go balanced, he can certainly, you go Hovland, Fitz, Hatton, you still got a ton of salary left to make things work there. And he's, top 5 in my model this week right now. So it doesn't ever hurt that. Model's not everything for me, but it certainly, is a big factor in starting point. Fowler, not a guy I thought would pop up this high, but he's, top 12 for me overall. 8,800 may keep people off. We'll see. The Ricky love is real, but he's squeezed in between two of the more interesting guys this week, Cam Young and JT, that we could get a lower owned Ricky because of that. Even if he's getting some ownership, I don't think it's to be crazy being in between those two guys. I just mentioned Hatton. He's a little bit cheaper. So we'll see how that kind of shakes out over the next 24 hours. But I kind of like Fowler this week. 21st in 18, a 4th in 19. He did miss a cut in 2021, coming off of a 10th and a 15th. His stats are finally starting to catch up. So he's flushed out a lot of those when he was going through his bad round, not bad, just through a funk, right? He's 14th in overall stats, 13th in recent form, 12th in course fit, 38th in putting. A lot of things I like there, and so 8,800 could be a great pivot potentially, or you pair him up with those other. You can still play them all. You play all three if you want. Go Hovland or Fitz, and then go Fowler, Young, JT, or Hatton in there. I like the 8K range this week. I think it's loaded. We traditionally don't see it get heavy ownership, though. One guy here or there, maybe two, but then everybody else, just because of natural bills, people want to spend their money. The 9K range and 10K range get so much love. Traditionally, the 8K is dead. I'm real interested to see how that shakes out this week because I outside of Rory, I don't know that anybody's just in love with anybody in 10K. Probably spread out. 9K just, besides the guys I mentioned, obviously they're my favorites. There's nothing there that, Spieth can get a little DFS darling at times, but maybe the 8K gets a lot of love this week. We'll see how the industry takes it and who gets steamed up, stuff like that. Last or third for me, Cam Young. He's kind of like the opposite of Ricky a little bit. His bad rounds are not complete tournaments. He seems to have bad round here or there. Is bumping him down. He's 25th, probably the lowest he's been in a while, and he's 8,700, which seems super cheap, but he's had up and down. 7th at the Masters, of course, 51st at RBC, 2nd at Potomac last year for this tournament. Really good stats, good drive, 7th, 13th in ball striking, 21st in opportunities, and 14th in par 4. And then he's kind of mid-pack in iron play and bogey avoidance. So maybe he doesn't get as much love as we think, but that price is sure attractive. I'll be on him. I'm a homer for him. So, and then my bubble boy is JT, simply on ownership. It feels like he's going to get highly owned at 8,900. Be interesting to listen to Kenny and Tambo in the Best Buy pricing that Tambo likes to refer to. 21st in 2018 here, 26th in 2021, and of course won the PGA Championship here back in 2017. So solid history. 25th at RBC after missing the cut at the Masters. Remember, he had to go back out that Saturday morning. Even when he did his old ear mic deal, it felt like he was going to make that cut and have a long day. And so we'll see. I don't mind him at all. Excuse me. The only thing for me would be ownership. I don't know if I'll go there, especially when I can go to like Fowler, Young, in a Ricky or a Hatton that if they're lower owned. That's the only reason why he's bubble boy. I like JT this week. We'll just see where the ownership gravitates there in the 8K range. 7K range, Mitchell, good history here. Surprising history, but 34th, 8th, and a 3rd. He missed the cut last year at Potomac, but when he's played this course, he's made the cut 3 for 3 with 2 top 10s. So I love that. 53rd at the Masters, missed the cut at RBC. So coming in like not great for him, but not horrible. 4th in good drives, 12th in par 4, 28th in opportunities inside 18 feet, and 30th in ball striking. If he gets some good iron play at 7,800, I really like the price. I love his off the tee game here. So I like Mitchell, 7,800. Chris Kirk, 7,500. Grades out really well for me this week. Obviously not the longest off the tee, but he's not horrible. 5th in opportunities at 18 feet, number 1 in par 4 DK scoring, 10th in bogey avoidance, 14th in irons. I love all that. He's only played here back in 2017, and I believe that was not even this course. I have notes to go see how everybody finished in the PGA Championship for the deep dive. But I think that 2017 number was Eagle Point because they had the PGA Championship that year. So he hadn't played Quail Hollow at least since 2017 at all. But the price is good. 7,500. He's been playing good, been playing well. 10th at Valero, 23rd at the Masters, which isn't a short course by any means, 41st at RBC. And I don't think anybody in the 7K range is going to be super high chalky owned. You'll see a few 10 to 12, 13%, but probably fairly spread out with that 43 guys sitting there in that range. Patrick Rogers continues to play well. I continue to play him. He's killed me so many times in the past. You feel like one of those is coming, but he's even played well, not on the West Coast. Valero, 5th, 19th at RBC, 10th last week at Mexico with a really, really good Sunday. So I kind of like that sneaky backdoor 10th. Caught a little fire. Maybe that rolls into this week. 37th here in 2021 and 34th in 2018. So I don't hate that. 2 made cuts, both top 40s, 7,500. If I get a top 30 upside, really want top 20, but, coming in really good form, and I'm going to play him this week for sure. And then Corey Connors, Bubble Boy, similar to JT. I just think he's the one guy that could get, because, again, Best Buy kind of pricing, 7,900, feels cheap. One Valero, burn people at the Masters, but bounce back at RBC with the 31st. 2 for 2 making the cut here. Hasn't done a lot with it. 43rd and 42nd, but it's been mainly his putter. Shocking. But, tee to green, he's been very good here in the 2 years. And we know that with Corey, if he has a decent putting week, especially if we get tough conditions where -9, 10, 11 is kind of the winning number. It brings in guys like Connors to me a little bit more. I just worry about the ownership. That's the only reason why I have him as a Bubble Boy. 6K range, Eric Cole, 6,800. I'll continue to ride that train. Svensson, another guy I've been playing quite a bit. I'll go back there. He's only played here once in 2019. He did miss the cut. Top 30 in stats overall for me. A 19th in good drives, 19th in irons, 29th in ball striking. I like all of that. Middle of the pack in putting for $6,900. I definitely like Svensson this week. Dylan Wu, $6,700. Played him decently last week. 15th in Mexico, 39th at Valero. Has not played here. He did play Potomac last year, made the cut. Mid pack on kind of most of the stats there. 33rd, 31st, 62nd. He has 100th in opportunities at 18 feet. That's probably one negative spot, but $6,700. Definitely enough there for me to take some chances. And then Toasty, I'll go back to him. He paid off everybody that played him. Again, I had him around like 4 or 5% owned, came in at 12 to 13. No price change. I think he was 65 last week. He paid off everybody that played him at a top 10. I certainly see him doing it again. And the only question there will be, how high does he get? Could he get 10% or more, on that 6K range again? Much stronger field, but, his stats look great. 6th, 14th, 8th, 6th, 24, 20. They're limited, but he's been playing well in the Corn Ferry. That's what kind of got me on him last week, was looking at those results, talked about him on the pod, had no idea he was going to be that chalky. But we'll just have to wait and see. I believe he probably will. Why would people not? Other than maybe thinking tougher course and all that. But unless people go, man, we're going to have a double-digit 6K guy again, I'm out. I'll fade that, but we'll keep an eye on that. Fade of the week for me right now is Rory. I would assume he does press conference. Rare that I put a lot of emphasis on that, but I definitely want to hear where he's been. He's only played the Masters in the last 6 weeks. So he's had time to rest. Didn't play Valero, missed the cut at the Masters, backed out of RBC, didn't play the team event, didn't play Mexico. So definitely rested, but does that come with some rust? Now you pair that with tremendous history here, a 1st, an 8th, and a 16th. So the last 3 times out, he has other wins here back before 2017. But highest price, potentially highest owned, not played a lot of golf, competitively lately. Just want to hear where he's at overall with when I think he thought he was going to contend and have a shot to win the Masters this year. And he probably always does, but I really think his preparation and how much he put into it and to miss the cut like he did, I think that hurt a little bit. So all that together, if he's going to come in here and be 13%, no one wants to play him, I could change my mind about him all night. We'll see. I don't think that would be the case with his history here. But with the time off and everything else, I kind of want to hear him out and see if I make some changes by the time we get to final thoughts. Sleeper of the week, I like Ben Martin, $7,100. Been playing really decent golf. Played him several times in the last month. 10th at Valero, 41st at RBC, 46th last week. Played here, played 2017 Quell, made 18th. Played here in 2021, though, an 11th finish. I like that. Probably playing much better golf than he was in. He did miss the cut here back in 2018. But for 7,100, just a little bit over that, that 6K range, I like him a lot. I think he's under 5% in a good sleeper play. Some gut feel plays for me this week. Tagala, see how much ownership he gets. One concern would be the off-the tee game from him at times, not all the time, but at times. He's coming in really hot, a 9th at the Masters, 5th at RBC. I like Fleetwood, this kind of track for him, that 9, 10, 11 type under. I like him. The harder I hear it, if people are talking a lot about the rough and all that kind of stuff, the more I like a Fleetwood. 8K. Woodland. Woodland's a guy that when he gets popping in DFS, he does gain ownership quite a bit. So that's the only reason why I keep an eye on it. But he's playing really well. 14th, 31st, 39th, last 3 weeks. Missed a cut here in 2018. He withdrew in 2019. Don't know what that was about, but a 5th in 2021. So he's got the potential here with a top 5 finish the last time he saw this course. And Hayden Buckley, $7,400 sticks out to me as a good gut feel play. 5th at RBC, 10th at Valero, playing really, really nice golf. 8th in good drives, 18th in ball striking, 11th in par 4. DK scoring, he's not played here. That'd be the only knock, but at that price and probably low ownership, he's a good gut feel play for me. Top 5 of pop and 2 long shots. Link is in the description. Dollar for dollar match up to $100 on Prize Picks or Underdog. I'll have my round 1 Prize Picks out tomorrow on Final Thoughts, and then I'll do nightly Prize Picks, assuming they get all the golf in. 156 guys is a lot, but we do got a lot more sunlight, pre-cut. And the Underdog should be releasing, they'll probably start releasing their really big NFL stuff here in the month of May. So if you want to hop in there, check that out. They also have good last week, the Thursday deal. I don't think it got, barely 60% full. So good overlay in that. If you want to check that out, get used to the site. Links in the description. GUP, dollar for dollar match up to $100. My top 5 right now, I like Hatton, 40, Hovland, 20, JT, 25, Mitchell, 50, Fitzpatrick, 20. Kind of letting the market settle with so many guys up there around that, besides Rory, in the mid-teens, low 20s, see what number I can get. But those are guys I got my eye on. 2 long shots. I like Ben Martin, just mentioned it, 150 to 1. These may be potential like top 10 bets, top 20 bets. And Patrick Rogers, 100 to 1. I may bet that outright because I think that's a good number for him. Some one and done early thoughts for me. Hatton, Finau, JT, Cam Young, and Cantley. Are guys I got my eye on. I'll list my final 5 tomorrow on the pod. Should be doing the E9 with Kenny Kim tomorrow night or after late afternoon. We'll see what his schedule and then mirror mine up with Mama Gup coming back home and get that out to the premium members. Come join us today if you like. PGA or gupscorner.com/memberships. Lots being added in the next couple of weeks as we continue to build up our golf dashboard. Appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday and talk to you soon.